On the news tonight, President Bola Tinubu gives assurance his administration will put in place modalities for internalization of the country. Federal government pledges to root out Nigerians parading fake certificates. Secretary to the State Government and Chairman, Subsidy Palliatives Committee, Dr. Kingsley Emu, charges that items meant for distribution get to the targeted population. And abroad, deal for a ceasefire in Gaza and release of hostages begin in Cairo. Good evening. Welcome to Delta TV Main News tonight. My name is Francis Ofulue. President Bola Tinubu has given the assurance that the administration will continue to put in place modalities for the industrialization of the country. A statement by the presidential spokesman, Ajurin Gilani, said Mr. Tinubu disclosed this when he received the delegation of the African Association of Automotive Manufacturers and Nigerian Automotive Manufacturers Association. The president, represented by his chief of staff, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, met the members led by the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Doris Uzoka Anite, on Friday in Abuja. He urged the delegation to ensure that locally manufactured vehicles are of the highest standard that would stand the test of time and complement the government's effort in revitalizing the automotive industry. President Tinubu urged the association to look into producing vehicles that will be affordable for all categories of Nigerians as the government rolls out consumer credit for millions of Nigerians to purchase vehicles and other important goods and services. The delegation had earlier notified the president of their efforts to start manufacturing vehicles and spare parts in Nigeria. He said that a legislative bill to drive the automotive industry was being drafted and reviewed by the Federal Ministry of Justice. They emphasized the need to develop the industry, which would create massive employment for youths and ease the burden on much-needed foreign exchange. The delegation consisted of the Director General of the National Automotive Design and Development Council, NADDC, Mr. Oluwemimo Osaniping. Others are representatives of the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency, NAMA, as well as executive directors of Stallion Group, Toyota, and Nissan. The federal government has pledged to root out Nigerians parading fake certificates following an investigation into degree mills operating in the country. Minister of Education, Professor Taheri Mamman San, made a pledge while receiving the report of the Interministerial Committee on Degree Mills. The committee was set up to investigate the activities of over 100 private universities and some foreign universities in Benin Republic, Togo, and other countries. Professor Mamman expressed sadness over the findings, saying the ministry would work with relevant agencies to sanitize the education sector and rid it of fake tendencies. The chairman of the Interministerial Committee, Professor Jibrin Amin, presented a report deploring the horrible standards of education in those schools. He recommended digitizing or automating the entire education system to monitor activities in tertiary institutions. Professor Amin also called for more universities in the country to train PhD holders rather than Nigerians seeking certificates abroad and ending up with fake ones. He urged the National Universities Commission to pay attention to institutions offering part-time or sandwich programs to avoid a repeat of the 2017 saga of unaccredited courses. He said the government had vowed to scrutinize anyone presenting a certificate from those institutions and deal with those found with fake certificates accordingly. The federal government has announced the additional 625 megawatts to the national grid, increasing the grid's wheeling capacity to 4,800 megawatts. The disclosure was made by the Minister of Power, Chief Adebayo Adilabu, at the commission of the 63 MVA 132/33 kV mobile station at Ajah, Lagos State, and 60 MWA 132/33 kVA power transformer in Benin Kebbi State simultaneously. A statement by the Special Advisor Strategic Communications to the Minister, Mr. Bolaji Tunji, quoted the minister as saying that the pivotal project is a testament of the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu towards transforming the power sector in the pursuit of reliable and sustainable energy infrastructure for a better Nigeria. Chief Adilabu said that the mobile substation being commissioned was a strategic deployment aimed at improving the transmission capacity constraints by over 1,300 megavolts across the nation. On the significance of the project and other equipment undergoing installation under the Presidential Power Initiative (PPI), Mr. Adilabu noted that the mobile substations equally stood as a beacon of hope for businesses, households reliant on uninterrupted power supply, stopgap measure during maintenance and emergency, imploring on all Nigerians to safeguard these vital installations against acts of vandalization and sabotage. Chief Adilabu reiterated that the success of government initiative hinges on collective responsibility. The minister called on the management of the FGN, power company, and all stakeholders in the power sector to work with determination to ensure that the timelines set for project delivery are achieved. The Senate has assured Nigerian media practitioners of the protection of their rights. This was contained in a statement issued by the President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Senator Eseme Ibo, to commemorate the 2024 World Press Freedom Day. He assured that the 10th National Assembly was committed to all that will strengthen press freedom and would not condone anything that may trample on the rights of journalists in the country. The lawmaker also charged the media industry, to make conscious efforts to set an agenda on climate change and educate the people on it. The State Fire Service Command has pledged its readiness to ensure fire incidents in the state was reduced to a barest minimum. The Commissioner Bureau for Special Duties, Honorable Terry Etachurere, made the pledge during the Command's International Firefighters Day celebration held at the Professor Chike Edozie Secretariat, Asaba. Henry Unogwa reports.
The ceremony kick-started with a roadwalk and sensitization exercise from the Summit Junction and terminated at the Post-Primary Education Board, Summit Road. Declaring the ceremony open, Honorable Etachurere commended the Director of State Fire Service, Mr. Eugene Oziwele, for his effort at ensuring that the Firefighters Day celebration held for the first time in history of the State Command, and thanked the state government for funding the event. He emphasized that May 4 was dedicated to honor the brave firefighters who risked their life daily to safeguard the environment and to pay tribute to those who had made sacrifices while in service.
Everyone seated here who has promised to give his or her life to another one to save lives and property. And I want to also encourage everyone here to work wholeheartedly and obey the command. The firefighter, the men, the staffs in this agency cannot be undermined. And I know the God-sent governor we have today will also be well informed that we need more appreciation.
In his remarks, the Director of State Fire Service, Mr. Eugene Oziwele, said the ceremony was a worldwide event which the State Command had keyed into and prayed for its continuity. Mr. Oziwele also, in a lecture titled The Role of State Fire Service Command, in line with the more agenda of the state government, said the command's role in combating fire could not be undermined as they are saddled with the responsibility of saving lives, preventing destruction of properties by fire, rendering humanitarian services, educating the public on fire prevention and protection awareness. He enjoined the public to support the effort of firefighters rather than attack firemen and accuse them of late arrival to fire scenes.
If you look at the MOA agenda, there are 4 main headings in the MOA agenda: meaningful development, opportunities for all, realistic reform, and enhanced peace and security. We want to limit ourselves to that enhanced peace and security. If you have actually gone through the MOA agenda, if it is broken down, we have about 64 items in the MOA agenda, if it is broken down.
The event featured a meritorious award presentation to some retirees for their contributions towards the growth and success of the command.
In fact, you add more years to my years on life. I'm really happy after retirement for years, and you were called back, recognized, to be rewarded. I retired about 12 years ago.
In fact, I was so highly appreciated. This is the first time this award is really being given to us now in the fire service.
Also in attendance were the Permanent Secretary, Office of the Deputy Governor, Mr. Tony Nwokolobia, Permanent Secretaries, Bureau for Special Duties, Science and Technology, Prince Greg Ejowomu, and Mr. Ejiro Ogenaofa, and the Director of State Emergency Management Authority, Mr. Caro Ovemeso. Henry Onogwa reporting.
No fewer than 900 civil servants in the state seeking for promotion in the state civil service have sat for the examination conducted by the Delta State Civil Service Commission for officers in the salary grade level 05 to 10 who are due for promotion held at the Dennis Azebe University in Awang. Norbert Oweme reports.
The acting chairman of the Delta State Civil Service Commission, Lady Roselyn Amioku, said the need to put civil servants in the right cadre necessitated the exercise. Lady Amioku emphasized that the criteria for the promotion of the civil servant in salary grade level 5 to 10 included performance evaluations, years of service, completion of required training programs, and identification card to avoid impersonation. The acting chairman of the State Civil Service Commission assured civil servants of their regular promotion and upgrading, which was in line with the more agenda of the Governor Sheriff Oborowere's administration.
You need to be promoted. You would have stayed in your grade level for 3 years. And you have your last promotion paper with you. You look at it. Your first appointment letter is very important. You look at it then. Also, your ID card, the civil service ID card, because there are some that will impersonate. So with the ID card, you look at them, you will know that it's for them.
The first commissioner of the Delta State Civil Service Commission, Chief Olumami Oyibo, commended the participants for their good conduct during the examination. He extolled the candidates for seeking for self-development by upgrading from their present cadre to a higher professional cadre, saying that the era of being stagnant in the civil service has become a thing of the past.
The arrangement was perfect. And first of all, we want to appreciate the participants for conducting themselves properly. Today, there was no case of people trying to harass. I think they are beginning to take this exercise very serious.
The permanent secretary of the commission, Mr. Frederick Yoro, expressed his satisfaction with the thorough screening process of the candidates and commended them for their orderliness.
I have not detected anybody impersonating any other person. We ensure that we look at their ID cards and match the faces on the ID card with the person there. Not doing the writing while you are signing their script.
Some of the candidates interviewed lauded the state government for the conduct of the examination, saying it was hitch-free, orderly, and well arranged, promising to discharge their duties with utmost interest.
We had less congestion in spite of the crowd, and the officers put in their best, I can say. Even at the entrance, when we're going in, I saw the PS civil service checking people. Those who didn't bring their cards, he ensured that someone else came to identify them.
So far, it's very interesting. I also commend Delta State government for granting us the opportunity to write this promotion and the promotion exam.
The posters from the lecture from the refresher course was a very good one. All the things that were taught in the lecture was all there in the question, in the answers.
Norbert Onweme reporting.
You're watching Delta Television. Main news still to come. Secretary to the State Government and Chairman, Subsidy Palliatives Committee, Dr. Kingsley Yemu, charges that items meant for distribution get to the targeted population. Stay with us.
Well, our governor, they say, more agenda, you this ain't a joke.
Indeed, now more for all deltas.
Yes.
I even hear recently say our governor sheriff don't go inspect the Orere Bridge for Ogilisad local government area.
Oh. That's good though. You don't say Governor Sheriff don't talk about the government.
Hello. Of course now, we did very happy for the university. When our Governor Sheriff, they built for all deltas for Ororokwe, local government area.
You hear that? Chai! Our Governor Sheriff, now this month of May 29th, now he go complete 1 year for office.
Yes.
And it already the commission projects. For example, the Enwe Road for Isoko South. It a commissioner.
Yes, I'm aware. Even the 5-story High Court complex don't be ready for commissioning to also mark in 1 year in office anniversary.
Sheriff is working, and according to the Commissioner for Information, Dr. Ifeanyi Oswafa, he said Sheriff don't promise. So every local government area of Delta State will experience the more agenda.
Wonderful.
I mean, meaningful development.
No doubt it already dey happen because before the MA for Orogun Road, motor self not fit dey pass am. But now it be like London Road. And make I tell you, our governor Sheriff don already line up numerous projects for inauguration to mark in 1 year anniversary in office.
Hey, Governor Sheriff!
I love Governor Sheriff because it goes for the best. Take for example the ongoing flyover project in Warri. Man, imagine now Julius Berger handling it.
I love the way Governor Sheriff is governing. He's making sure all projects are completed.
More agenda. Governor Sheriff came prepared to govern with excellence.
Brought to you by Delta State Ministry of Information.
You're watching Delta TV Main News at 8. The Secretary to the State Government and Chairman of the Subsidy Palliatives Committee, Dr. Kingsley Emu, has charged members and coordinators of the committee in the 25 local government areas of the state to ensure that items meant for distribution got the targeted population, such as the elderly, the indigent, and other categories of persons most affected by the subsidy removal. Dr. Emu gave the charge at a crucial meeting of the committee held to fine-tune arrangements for the distribution of the next round of palliatives received from the federal government. He said Governor Sheriff Oborevwori had directed that the process must not only be transparent, but must be seen to be manifestly transparent. The SSG disclosed that items received so far and meant for distribution include 11,464 bags of maize, 4,699 bags of gari, and 23,996 25-kilogram bags of rice, adding that they were ready to be moved to all the local government areas, even as the date for the commencement of distribution would soon be communicated to the people via the traditional media and social media to create the desired awareness of the exercise. He charged the state coordinator of the committee, Olurogu Jaru Egbo, to keenly supervise the activities of the local government area coordinators, while urging members to be vigilant, proactive, and ensure the effective distribution of the items in their localities. In a significant development, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NEC, has commenced the unbundling process of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, introducing the Nigerian Independent System Operator of Nigeria, Limited, NISO, according to an order dated April 30, 2023, jointly signed by NEC Chairman Mrs. Sanusi Garba and Vice Chairman Musiliu Useni. TCN was mandated to transfer all market and system operation functions to the newly established entity. Previously, TCN held transmission service provider TSP and system operations SO licenses in accordance with the Electric Power Sector Reform Act. However, the enactment of the Electricity Act 2023 provided clearer guidelines for incorporating and licensing the Independent System Operator ISO and for the transfer of assets and liabilities from TCN's portion of the ISO. In line with this directive, NEC had instructed the Bureau of Public Enterprises, BPE, to incorporate a private company limited by shares under the Companies and Allied Matters Act, CAMA, 2020 by May 31. The new entity, named the Nigerian Independent System Operator of Nigeria Limited, NISO, will assume the market and system operation functions outlined in Electricity Act and TCN's System Operation License terms. NEC emphasized that NISO's Memorandum of Understanding MOU will empower the company to manage all assets and liabilities related to market and system operation on behalf of market participants, consumer goods, or specified stakeholders. Additionally, NISO will be tasked with negotiating ancillary service procurement contracts with independent power producers and successor generation licenses, as well as performing other markets and system operation functions outlined in its license. NEC expects NISO to fulfill all contractual rights and obligations pertaining to markets and system operation previously held by TCN. The move marked a significant step in the restructuring of Nigeria's electricity sector aimed at enhancing efficiency and market performance. The Global Scene is next as we join our World News Desk.
Efforts have intensified to secure a deal for a ceasefire in Gaza and the release of hostages, with talks resuming in Cairo today. Hamas said the delegation was traveling in a positive spirit after studying the latest truce proposal. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said taking the ceasefire should be no-brainer for the militant group. Hamas negotiators have returned to the Egyptian capital to resume long-running talks brokered by Egypt and Qatar that will temporarily pause Israel's offensive in Gaza in return for freeing hostages. In a statement released last night, Hamas said it wanted to mature the agreement on the table, which suggests there are areas where the two sides still disagree. The main issue appears to involve whether the ceasefire deal will be permanent or temporary. Hamas is insisting any deal makes a specific commitment towards an end to the war, but Israel is reluctant to agree while the group remains active in Gaza. It thought the wording being discussed involves a 40-day pause in fighting while hostages are released and the release of a number of Palestinian prisoners being held in Israeli jails. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has repeatedly insisted there will be a fresh military ground operation in the southern Gaza city of Rafah, even if a deal is agreed. Israeli media reported today that his position remained unchanged despite the latest rounds of talks. But the U.S., Israel's biggest diplomatic and military ally, is reluctant to back a new offensive that could cause significant civilian casualties and has insisted on seeing a plan to protect displaced Palestinians first. An estimated 1.4 million people have taken shelter in Rafah after fleeing the fighting in the northern and central areas of the Strait. The U.S. has blamed the Rwandan army and M23 rebel group for the deadly bombing of a displacement camp in the Democratic Republic of Congo. At least 9 people, including 7 children, were killed in a strike on Mugampa camp in the eastern city of Goma yesterday. The Congolese and M23 blamed each other for the attack. Rwanda, which borders DR Congo, is widely accused of backing the rebel group, which it denies. The U.S. State Department said yesterday's attack came from positions held by the Rwanda Defense Force, RDF, and the M23 group. A spokesperson said the U.S. was gravely concerned about the recent RDF and M23 expansion in eastern DR Congo and called on both parties to respect human rights and adhere to applicable obligations under international humanitarian law. Lieutenant Colonel Guillaume Kaku, a spokesperson for DR Congo's army in the region, said the strike had come in retaliation for earlier Congolese attacks on Rwanda army positions. President Felix Tshisekedi, who has spent several weeks abroad, will be returning to the Central African country this weekend following the attack.
And now to business news. The federal government has unveiled plans to establish a comprehensive national waste management network, which will serve as a platform for states to collaborate, enhance their participation in the circular management of waste, and reap significant benefits through the process. Minister of State for Environment, Ishaq Saluko, said the initiative is in response to mounting concerns over environmental degradation, indiscriminate piling of refuse by roadsiders, and pressing need to transition toward a more sustainable future. He stated that at a joint press conference in celebration of the 2024 World Press Freedom Day held at the National Press Center in Abuja, he also said that the network will facilitate the sharing of resources, expertise, and best practices among states and local government and foster a cohesive approach to waste management across the country. This, he said, led to the launch of a national circular roadmap which will engage states to domesticate and serve as a framework for recycling some previously considered waste, promoting state engagement and recycling initiatives. In addition to environmental benefits, the establishment of the network is poised to generate significant economic advantages for participating states. By streamlining waste management processes and promoting resource efficiency, states stand to reduce operational costs associated with waste disposal and landfill management. He stated that the creation of a robust circular economy framework is expected to stimulate job growth, spur investment in green technologies, and enhance the competitiveness of domestic industries. Salako further emphasized the need for sustainable practices and intergovernmental collaboration in promoting environmental stewardship and resource efficiency. The minister added that refuse littered around the country do not belong to the federal government, clarifying that all waste falls under state and local government responsibility. He recalled the federal government 2 weeks ago launched a national circular roadmap which will now engage the state to domesticate and serve as a framework for recycling of some of the country's previously considered waste. Still talking business, Nigerian fintech companies have warned their customers against trading in cryptocurrency or any virtual currency on their apps, threatening to block any accounts found engaging in such activity. At least 4 fintechs, OPay, Moniepoint, PalmPay, and Paga, had communicated the development to their customers yesterday. Last week, the Central Bank of Nigeria stopped major fintech firms like Kuda, OPay, PalmPay, and Moniepoint from onboarding new customers. The CBN's move was linked to an ongoing audit of the Know Your Customer process of the fintechs, which have been under scrutiny in recent months over concern around money laundering and terrorism financing. Before the CBN's directive, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission had obtained a court order to freeze at least 1,146 bank accounts owned by various individuals and companies allegedly involved in illegal foreign exchange transactions. In a notice issued yesterday, OPay said it would take strict measures against customers who violate its policies, which aligns with the Central Bank of Nigeria's stance on cryptocurrencies trading. In a similar move, Paga, a fintech firm that has processed transactions worth 32 billion naira in 15 years of operation, and PalmPay, another major player, have advised their customers that failure to comply with the CBN regulations may result in the suspension of their account. On Thursday in Lagos, the founder and CEO of Moniepoint, Tosin Enuoloda, called on cryptocurrency peer-to-peer P2P participants to halt their activities, citing financial sector's prohibition on such transactions. Away from business, the Commissioner of Health and Human Services in Adamawa State, Mr. Felix Tangwame, has confirmed that measles outbreak in the state claimed 42 lives. Mr. Tangwame revealed this late yesterday while speaking to reporters shortly after the State Executive Council meeting at the Government House in Yola, stating that the measles affected 8 wards in Mubi and 7 wards in Gombe local government areas. He gave the death toll of 42 out of 131 and 177 respectively of the affected persons in the indicated local government areas. In a bid to control the spread, the Commissioner said all local government areas in the state had been put on red alert. Mr. Tangwame also said that the government and environmental and development partners were on top of the situation. And now our thought for the day. Be happy with what you have while working for what you want. And on that note, we end the news today, but before we go, a quick look at our major stories. President Bola Tinubu has given the assurance that his administration will continue to put in place policies for industrialization of the economy. A statement by the presidential spokesman, Ajorin Gilali, said Mr. Tinubu disclosed this when he received the delegation of the African Association of Automotive Manufacturers and the Nigerian Automotive Manufacturers Association. The federal government has pledged to root out Nigerians parading fake certificates following an investigation into degree mills operating in the country. Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman San, made the pledge while receiving the report of the Interministerial Committee on Degree Mills. The Secretary to the State Government and Chairman of the Subsidy Palliatives Committee, Dr. Kingsley Emu, has charged members and coordinators of the committee in 25 local government areas of the state to ensure that items meant for distribution go to the targeted population, such as the elderly, the indigent, and the other categories of persons most affected by the subsidy removal. And abroad, we brought you reports that the efforts have intensified to secure a deal for a ceasefire in Gaza and the release of hostages, with talks resuming in Cairo today. Hamas said its delegation was traveling in a positive spirit after studying the latest truce proposal. And that's the news. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Francis Ofulue. Good evening. Good night.